107.5 WGCI, the Shy's #1 for hip hop and R&B. It's the morning show with the destined legend Leon Rogers.
Yes, sir.
The beautiful Kendra G.
Hey.
And myself, the shortest damn man in Chicago, Kyle. And we got somebody on the line right now who's making a lot of waves out here in this entertainment industry, bringing networks to fruition. You know what I mean? Causing a lot of drama. You got people on his network arguing back and forth with Wendy. It's out of control. Let me make sure I'm saying his name properly. Lemuel, a.k.a. Lemmy Plummer. How you doing today,
Hey,
sir?
you said it perfect.
My man. How's it going, bro?
It's going great, man. How are you?
Good. So for the people that don't know, you're the founder, you're the engine, you're the machine, you're the idea, you're the person behind the Zeus Network. Explain to the people what the Zeus Network is.
Yes, I'm the founder and CEO of the Zeus Network. We are a subscription video on demand platform, similar to like a Netflix type platform. We charge $4.99 a month to access our content. And we have a ton of shows. We're doing really well. We're available globally on every major device, from all your Apple iOS products, Apple TV, to your mobile devices, to Android products, Google Chromecast, Roku, Xbox, et cetera. Every smart top box you could think of, like you would get Netflix, you get Zeus. So we're doing really well. And again, I'm very, very happy to be here, and very nice to meet you guys.
Listen, Lemmy, y'all got my money. I'm gonna tell you when I became a subscriber, when the Ray J and Princess, I had to see the conversation. That's when y'all got my money, and that's when I signed up for Zeus. And know, first of all, I'm proud of you as a Black man. I feel like we're talking to an early Bob Johnson who was behind BET. So very proud of you as a Black man. But just to talk about, you're welcome. Let's talk about the streaming service platform, because I think it's changing the world. I think streaming is taking over TV. What do you think about that? Because more people are using their phones to watch stuff opposed to the actual television now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And thank you. Look, I'll receive that Bob Johnson message, and I appreciate that. No, Bob is an incredible entrepreneur and visionary. He, obviously created BET and founded that company, went on to sell it for billions of dollars to Viacom, and it's still up and running and great. I actually sold a lot of shows to BET over the years and executive produced a lot of projects there. So they definitely helped to contribute to my success with my career. So kudos to everything that he's done and the new team that's there now. But I think that we're in a different day and age. People love to watch content at their convenience, choice, and control. And so the game has changed significantly as far as how people watch content. And so, linear programming is just different. People don't really have a huge appetite to want to watch, programs, at a specific time, and so people want it right now. People want to be able to watch it on their mobile device. They don't want to go home and wait till 9, 10 o'clock to watch their favorite program and then have to wait to watch reruns. They want it now, and they want to watch it again at their convenience, choice, and control. And so I think, Netflix really created an amazing business model. And I don't think a lot of people saw them coming in their earlier days and when they first launched the platform, because that was their model: convenience, choice, control. How do we allow our customers to watch what they want to watch at their convenience, at their control, and at their choice, at whatever program. And so they started with the DVDs, and we're mailing it to you. They said, look, why you got to get in your car and drive to some type of facility to browse the types of movies, which was great in its time. It was a great experience when we were doing it early on, but Netflix said, look, let's make it more convenient for the customers. Let's just have them go online and we'll mail them a DVD. And then that worked. They had your credit card. So if you kept the DVD, they were just going to charge your card.
That's happened to me a couple times.
I got hit for that $50 a couple of times.
Right. There you go. And then they evolved to, your computers and desktop computers. And then they just said, look, let's figure out a way to put our platform on every major device. And so they've been able to do that. And so I think it probably where they really grabbed Hollywood's attention was when they announced how many subscribers they had, when they were putting out high quality premium content like House of Cards, Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
And I think they had about 35 million customers and at the time, and I think people, how does it hold? 35 million people times X, you know, they were bringing in like $280 million a month in revenue. And so people just didn't understand it. And then Hollywood was kind of, how did they afford Kevin Spacey? How did they afford for their productions to look so high quality? And so, you know, the math, when they announced how many customers they had, it made sense. And then they really changed the game when they allowed people to binge watch, right? They were like, look, not only are we going to put it out on every major device, but go ahead and watch all 15 episodes whenever you want. Right. And then I think that really changed the game from between on-demand and linear programming. And so, you know, it disrupted, you know, our entire industry, and they were the only ones. And at the time, the Hollywood studios and Hollywood just like, we're going to keep doing our thing, because their deals are with the cable and satellite providers, right? So we pay an average as customers $146 a month for cable and internet, and we pay these bundle deals, not even realizing that we're still paying for cable, even though we don't even watch it. You know, the average person may watch 7 channels, you know, out of thousands of channels that they have access to, but, you know, Comcast still pays these networks to operate. And so they're going to continue to push through and try to do the best that they can to get people to watch appointment TV. And, but I think you're seeing this massive shift in the industry where people are kind of like, you know, neglecting it and watching, you know, on demand, whether it's subscription like Zeus or Netflix, or, you know, advertising video on demand, which is more so like YouTube. You know, you get free content, but you got to watch ads, right? Whether it's pre-rolled ads. And then you have transactional video on demand, which is more like a one-time fee you pay for, you know, a piece of content, whether you rent it or buy it. Sorry, I don't mean to be long-winded, but I definitely wanted to answer the question. So hopefully that answers it.
No, definitely. Ms. Plummer, so my question to you is, okay, since streaming is the way now, everybody's going towards streaming, everybody's doing that. Even like AMC, they're starting to release some movies out on streaming because COVID has changed the way we do a lot of things too. Add to that. What makes Zeus different? What makes Zeus different from the other streaming networks? Like if I'm coming in saying like I want to find something different, what makes Zeus different?
Well, when I founded Zeus, my philosophy was, let's put the power back in the hands of the creators. I felt like a lot of content creators and talent, they're undervalued. You know, they are undervalued for a variety of biased reasons, whether it's age, appearance, etc. And so I just really wanted to give real talent the opportunity to monetize in a really major way and different way, to really own the product with us, you know, or the show, to be able to have some creative, you know, input and control with the programs that they're featured in. And so for me, that was kind of the early, like, you know, idea when I launched the network. And then I also wanted to create something a little bit more niche. I said, we're not going to really at this level be able to compete with the Netflix and HBOs. And, you know, let's just create something we're Black owned, right? Which is a big deal. And let's give our people an opportunity to create original high quality programming. And I just, you know, started with primarily influencers when we first launched. And then it kind of evolved to doing more traditional style programming. And working with, you know, the Black Chinas and the Joselines and the Ray J and princesses and et cetera, the Natalie Nuns. We just wanted to put the power back in their hands, but also create programming that was niche and specific and cater to our audience, and make it more raw and authentic and real and uncensored, and give our customers a different type of experience. And so it's been working. And so, you know, we obviously want to continue to grow and evolve and scale the company. And so we're going to get into scripted. We're going to be doing live programming. We're going to be doing all sorts of, you know, shows and diversify our lineup of programming. So for me, these are just the early days, you know, so I know everybody's kind of like, hey, you got a lot of loud, provocative content and all these reality shows. But yeah, that's where we are now. And we'll keep that going. But we're also going to diversify again our program.
I want to ask you, Lemmy, you know, about your background. I'm always interested in what leads a person down a path like this. You know what I mean? Like, what was your interest? What got you even thinking I want to start a network? And, you know, what were some of the early steps you took to even get that ball rolling?
Yeah, my parents owned and operated several television networks back in the 80s. So when Bob Johnson actually launched his network, BET, my dad and my mom launched their network. It was more religious and it was a Christian television network. So, totally different model, but the process and, I want to say the infrastructure and how things are facilitated are pretty much the same. And so I was very fortunate and blessed to be able to be a part of that and to be able to learn a lot from the folks that work for my parents' company, obviously my parents, my siblings, my brother who worked for the network, who was older and a little bit more seasoned and knew a lot more about production than me at the time. And so that's what really got me in the game. And so I caught on to being a cinematographer and an editor when I was 12 years old. Even prior to that, I had picked up a camera and, was playing around, but I started taking it very seriously when I was about 12 years old. And then,
And you grew up, where'd you grow up?
In Michigan, Detroit.
Okay. All right. No
D-Town.
D-Town. We're neighbors.
You know about Jefferson Ave, man.
Right,
know about that.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
So I got two quick questions. First question is, Joseline, does she have the #1 show in the country? Because we all saw the argument between her and Wendy Williams. And she was clear she has the #1 show in the country. So you own the network. You can dispel or confirm this allegation.
Listen, I can't look in her universe. She has the #1 show in the country. So which is great. Awesome. And I think, for Zeus, she definitely has one of the #1 shows on the network for sure.
Okay.
She's doing her show, doing incredibly well. It's doing incredibly well.
Yeah, I love how you answer that question because she'll cuss your ass out. You already know. That's a vote. Second quick question. I follow you on Instagram. I know you have a beautiful lady in your life, but you blowing up. You were the face of the company. How are you dealing with all these other girls who trying to be on your arm right now? Because I know they coming for you, Lemmy.
Hey, listen, that's an interesting question. No, I do love my girl, Janisha. She's great. She actually works for the company. She's doing some incredible things as a host and a producer, and she helps runs our social media. But definitely there are folks that are in my DMs and that hit me up, and I appreciate the interest, and I appreciate the attraction if they're attracted to me for a variety of reasons. But I'm doing my thing. I'm enjoying life. I'm living my best life, and I'm taking it every day at a time.
Fight, brother. Fight the good fight. Fight the good fight, brother. Fight the good fight, because I know it's tough.
There you go. Y'all
fight it,
young
man.
My new little word. I'm fighting the good fight.
Fight the good fight, young man. Hey, listen. So, in your position, what you do, a new network, and from you got some of my guys on there like Conceited, Rap Battle. There's a funny sketch show and things like that. You probably get a lot of pitches all the time.
Mm-hmm.
How tough is it to tell some people no when the content might be good, but it's not right there? And do you turn into a mentor to try to help them get better? Or is it just like the Hollywood thing, man, go back, get it right and try it again? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is your approach when you're looking at people who are bringing stuff to you for the network?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. I definitely get pitched all the time. I don't like to take a lot of unsolicited pitches. But people that are close to me, whether they're friends or family, sure, I'll pick up the phone and they'll pitch me shows. So my family will, and they're great. Like sometimes they pitch really great ideas of people that I should look to work with. And so it's not easy. It's like, I will be honest and very transparent and candid with folks about what works for Zeus and, why we may not be able to pick something up, or because we're not like traditional networks. We don't go through the development phase like they do, because we're a streaming platform. I have to green light shows and go straight to series. and I have to make sure that we accelerate, the program to get it on the air as quickly as possible. So because we want to hold our subscribers and we want to scale our subscribers, so we got to move fast. And we just don't have a lot of time to wait. And so we're always thinking about, look, do we do another season of this show, or do we want to take the risk and just invest in a completely new show with a new talent that we don't know if they're going to be able to grow and scale? So it sometimes it is difficult to pick up shows. And then when people are pitching that are in the industry, we'll definitely listen and, give real feedback. And but sometimes we'll make the call. We'll say, hey, look, we'll pitch to them. Are you interested in doing this? We'll invest in this and we'll structure this deal for you. So it is hard, but I am very honest, like I said, about what works. Sometimes my family members call me Matumbo. They think I'm blocking ideas all the time. I'm not blocking ideas. I'm like, I'm just telling you the truth. No. Specifically, my brother-in-law, I love him to death, and my sister, but they pitch all the time, and I tell them to, like, look, pitch me ideas. Like, what do you guys think works? And so they're always pitching, but it is hard. It is hard because we are bringing in significant revenue, and we're looking to invest in shows all the time. So it's like, hey, okay, we got X amount to invest in this. Let's do it. So, it's just about finding the right programs, and for me, and creating hit shows. People don't realize in the streaming space, when you're requesting people to pay for your content, it has to work. It has to be loud. It has to be provocative. It has to be either really funny. The star power has to be, interesting enough for people to say, okay, I'm going to pay $4.99. And we're way cheaper than most of the streaming platforms. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's just like, if we're charging $4.99, we really have to make sure that we're picking up the right shows. So I love taking pictures. I love hearing new ideas. But yeah, sometimes I will, it's hard. It's really, really hard.
You get that uncle. Look here, nephew. Christmas, the James Brown Christmas tribute. All right?
Right.
James Brown Christmas tribute. Check it out.
It's hard, in different shows. I mean, look, you saw it with a lot of shows. I mean, I think part of what makes us unique is we're very specific on what we put out, and our audience, they give us feedback in real time. We'll post a clip, a trailer, a teaser. I hate that show is whack, and right. This, that, and the other. Like, why would it, so we get real time feedback, not only on our platform, but all of our social platforms and all the blogs that pick up our content. So it's like we're getting a ton of data, and we take that data seriously, and so we do our due diligence, and we're trying to see, okay, what do people really want to see? And so we put a lot of our time and attention to, processing what the masses are saying. And we kind of go off of that sometimes, but we, have our own internal process as well. And again, the goal is to continue to keep the retention high as far as, people watching the content, and our churn low. We don't want to experience a ton of cancellation. So, we got to put out hit shows that people want to see, that we feel work for our audience. You saw with Quibi and other platforms that they raised billions of dollars, and the platform didn't work for, obviously timing wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't just about saying, hey, we have this A-list star on the network. You got to really come up with a show that people really want to see. It's not about how many followers you have necessarily, or how many, just because you have this idea, hey, we got to do that. But no, we really got to take our time, even though it's not a lot of time to do it. And make it feel right for our audience.
I got a 2-part question for you. I don't know how much time we have left, but number one, you talked about coming up behind Bob Johnson and working with BET. So that's some great mentorship and experience there. Speaking of your social media, I saw you toasting it up with Diddy on the boat. Oh my God. You know what I mean? And I also saw you talking about the fact that you could be almost to like that $1 billion point already. So my question is, coming up behind guys like that who have done it with their own networks, what similarities do you have with those guys? Because obviously there's something there similar that you're able to follow in their footsteps. And, how much longer before you get to that Billy?
Yeah, man, I think that's a great question. I have a lot of mentors. My dad's a mentor. He understands this space. He's the one that got me into it. I've had investors and people prior to Zeus that have been instrumental on my growth, like Harold Lewis and Jonathan Rogers, he was the president of and CEO of TV One and Discovery Networks, and he was a big mentor of mine. Kathy Hughes and Alfred, they're good friends of mine. So, I mean, there's a lot of network owners that came before me that launched who were Black. And I was very fortunate to build relationships with them and learn from them. So it's great to have them, as allies and as a support system and mentors that I can reach out to if I ever have questions. But and Diddy's great. He's a mogul. He's a mogul, and he's been doing his thing for a very long time. And it was great meeting him and talking to him briefly about the business. He definitely showed a lot of interest in Zeus, and so I invite him to definitely can keep the conversation going and figuring out if we can collaborate or come up with some type of strategic partnership that makes sense for him and for me. And so I love it. It's great. It's great to get a lot of these media moguls to support and to endorse and to recognize what you're doing. I'm 35, so I'm a young Black man doing it. So it's great. I'm very humbled. I'm honored. I feel very blessed. And so we're just, I feel like we're doing something right. And in regards to the $1 billion question, right?
Yeah.
Zeus we are definitely generating significant revenue. To be a Black-owned independent company, to not take any outside investments. I spent my own money launching Zeus. I saved up my money and said, look, I'll launch a network, and I did it. And so for me, it's yes, we are very close to being valued at $1 billion based upon the revenue and our valuation. And so I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy with what we're generating. I mean, we're profitable. We are bringing in revenue. Everybody's eating very nice. Our content partners, we're employing a lot of people. Our production staff is working. Our in-house team is doing very well. So I'm happy to provide jobs. I'm happy to make sure that our content partners like the Joselines, Ray J's, the Natalie Nuns, and Black China, they're still getting checks every month from Zeus and doing extremely well. And so I'm happy. Everybody, we are we have a lot of vendors that we work with, a lot of marketing partners, strategic partners that we pay every month, every week. Technology partners who generate money from us. And so it's great to be a young Black man doing that. And so, yes, we are, if not worth $1 billion, very close to it. And so I can't, disclose, the amount of money that we're bringing in for a variety of reasons, but just know
DM's gonna be popping.
Hey, man. Hey,
girl, he worth $1 billion.
Yeah, I'll take it. I appreciate it.
Keep fighting, brother. Fight it.
Fight the good fight.
Fight the good fight.
Fight the good fight. There you go.
Before we go, I want to say a couple things. One day I know you're going to get approached, if you're not already approached, with selling, because when you get to a certain level, when you talk about $1 billion, I'm quite sure there's companies that want to buy your business. If you do, so be it. I would never be mad at you, but I love that at this moment you can say you're Black owned, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I say stay Black owned as long as you can. But again, I ain't no hater. Get your coin. If someone makes you an offer that takes you to a different level, I will salute you because you're a Black man that created it. Now, also, I want you to follow me back on Instagram because I follow you and you don't follow me back. And I'm gonna be in LA. I want to connect with you because I have a streaming show that could be dope. So with Vaughn, I'm gonna have him connect us if you cool.
All right, now look, if I do the Matumbo, don't get mad at me. I'm kidding. I'm messing with you.
So we could definitely say no.
No, absolutely. And just to respond off of what you said regarding selling, I think, look, I've already been approached. There's been several private equity firms that have reached out. There's been venture capitalists, hedge funds, all sorts of people that have reached out certain media conglomerates that have showed interest in Zeus. We've already licensed some of our content to major networks. And so, yeah, I mean, it for me, it just has to be the right deal. You know, I'm not looking to just sell out. Yeah, of course, everybody wants to, you know, make as much money, and you build a company to sell, and you don't have to sell everything. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg sold a ton of equity, right? He's down to about 20% publicly, right? And he still controls the company. And so it's, you know, I don't think I'm at a place where I'm just going to sell all of my equity and have no involvement in Zeus, even if I sold. I mean, it'd have to be an amazing offer, you know, and not saying that someone wouldn't do it, but, you know, I still want to be involved. I think even if you sell, you know, at someone like me as a founder and CEO, it's still important to have a presence and to have some type of involvement, whether I continue as a CEO or whether I, you know, am a consultant or whatever. I will figure it out. I'm not going to just sell and just, you know, neglect a company that I birthed and, you know, created. So, you know, I'm sure that there'll be deals that could be structured in a way where I'm still hands-on or involved or participating in a way that I would be happy with.
I love it.
Nephew.
I love it.
Yes, all right, nephew. Here's the pitch. Charles Chitlin's Kitchen. Okay. Here's the thing. It's a cooking show, right? Chefs from all over the world compete, but the only ingredient is chitlins.
No.
Greenlit.
It'll be sponsored by Louisiana Red Hot Sauce.
No, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. I love. That's how it is. That's how it is.
Hey, I believe it. But congratulations to you, man. We definitely appreciate you spending some time with us, man, and just hearing your story and how you built it from scratch to where it is right now. And even the reason I asked you about the money part is because imagine when Zeus is at a Netflix level, and then, you know what I'm saying? It's just so much more growth, but you're already making money, and there's so much more room to go. So congratulations on all of that, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I hope to be, look, Netflix is at 200 million plus subscribers, you know, globally. So I hope that we can get to a level like that, even if we had a small, you know, amount of those subscribers, you know, it would be great. But I think we're headed in the right direction, and I think we'll be at a place where, you know, we're gonna be a hub where we're creating a lot of opportunities for tons of folks in front and behind the screens.
There it is, Chicago. You had another question?
Yeah, I was like, because you made me think of it when you brought up Netflix. I've been meaning to say this. You're so right about the early stages. I remember I was in LA working with E, and Chelsea Handler like left E to go to Netflix. And at the time it was very early, and everybody at E was like, why the hell would you give up a late night talk show on television for a streaming platform? And look at it today. So I definitely see that.
There you go. Yeah, no, that's a perfect. That's a perfect example. It's a perfect example. She just, you know, a lot of times people are just way ahead of their time and they just don't realize it. But yeah, now it's the thing. That is just how people like to watch content. And I'm sure they made an offer that she couldn't refuse. And so she probably was like, why wouldn't I take this on a platform that probably will be the biggest, you know, network, you know, in the world, which today they are. So I think it was a smart move, and she understood the concept, and not a lot of folks did, and I think she probably is doing very well. So kudos and congratulations to her.
Nephew, I got another one for you, nephew. Look here now. So you know your aunt Lisa on your mom and them side, her cousin removed. You know she a crackhead, right?
Right.
What about a trivia show with a crackhead? Are you smarter than a crackhead? Come on, nephew.
Hey, that's a great idea.
You see what I'm talking about?
Greenlit.
We got two shows.
Greenlit, two shows. Charles Chitlin Kitchen, and Are You Smarter Than a Crackhead?
You got 2 shows on Zeus already greenlit. Bro. Let's go.
Fight the good fight, man. Shroud yourself in the invincibility cloak and fight the good fight, sir. I know it's tough. I know it is.
Keep up the good work, man. We appreciate the time in Chicago. Lemuel, Lemmy Plummer, the founder, the owner of the Zeus Network. We appreciate what you're doing, man, and keep it up, yo. For real, for real.
Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate it, man. Thank you, guys. I appreciate
nephew,
it.
one more nephew before you go. You know everybody doing this crate challenge, right?
Crate challenge.
Crate challenge for dollars.
All right.
The higher the pyramid you go, the more money
now that's
you make.
not a bad idea. That if you can get down the ground off the ground right now, that actually might work.
That's what it is. Crate challenge. Get off the ground right now.
All right, bro.
Leon,
thank you for your time, man.
Thank you.
For sure.
No problem. You guys have a good one. Very nice to meet you. We'll be in touch.
All right,
Yeah.
you too. Later.
Okay, guys.